Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And today we are talking about something so powerful, and that is our heart. This is the first time I'm teaching this topic. I believe in almost 3.5 years of hosting Love Circle. This is the first time this topic is coming to the surface, and this is more coming from what I have learned and studied and embodied in 2024, and it is heart, your manifestation machine. So in the past, I have talked about how to move from your head to your heart, how powerful the heart is, how heart is the real source of power and not really our mind, how heart can control the mind. I've talked about all those aspects of it, but today we are going to talk about the aspect of manifestation. So let's say you want to create a change in your life, whether it would be you want a new career, you want a new home, you want a new partner, you want a different body, whatever you want to create. Generally, what happens, the common way we do it in self-development is you think of the thing that you want, you align the thoughts with it, and you maybe say affirmations to yourself, you visualize, and one day, voila, it happens. And you're like, yes, I manifested it. But then there are a few things that just don't happen. They don't budge. Maybe you want to become a millionaire. Then all your friends are becoming millionaire, and you're just sitting there year after year after year after year. Eventually, we do break through things, but how we can shorten the time, that is what the heart is all about. So if you want to take 10 years to make something happen and you want to collapse the time and you want to make same thing happen in a year, that is when we do the work of the heart. Think of it this way. You can take a regular hose and you can try to clean a dirty surface, or you can take a power hose and clean the same surface much faster. So for this conversation is for those areas of your life where you've been trying, and things are not budging, and or you've been trying for a long time, you're so tired, you're ready to give up, and you're like, maybe let me try something different. And before we even get into it, I'll help you understand why it is so. So whenever we are manifesting something, it comes from our unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is sending out a signal all day long, and also your conscious mind is sending out a signal. So your conscious mind is saying, I want that house. But your unconscious mind is holding on to the trauma from maybe your childhood or whatever has happened, say, I'm not worthy of that house. So you're not going to get that house. So generally what we do the affirmations, and when we say something over and over and over and over and over and over, one day your unconscious mind, we think it's true, it will take it as the truth, and that is when magically that thing happened in your life, right? But then there's some things where you get something and it's not really what you wanted. And the most common place you'll find it is relationships. We leave a relationship, we get into a next relationship thinking we have done all the healing work, and it's still like, same thing, a little bit different. There's still like, some rough edges there that have not been worked out. And then we leave that. We're like, something is wrong with this person. Go to the next relationship, leave that. Something is wrong with that person. But whatever is going on is within us. So that is a situation where the block is within us. Another place you might see, you get into a career, you're doing really good, and then you go to the bottom. And then you get into another business and you do really good, you get to a bottom. Whenever there is a wave going on like this, extreme wave. Life is a little bit wavy, but we are talking about top and bottom, hitting top and bottom wave. If that is going on, that is where your unconscious mind is trying to get a signal. You do attract things, but there is some kind of block. That is where the heart comes. When we open our heart, and I'll show you very specific ways you can open your heart very easy. As you know, that aligning ourselves with the universe is one of the easiest thing to do, but it feels really, really hard because our mind thinks things needs to be hard. So we uh, teach ourselves first by unlearning and learning that life can be very easy. So when we have opened and healed our heart, that is when the heart and the mind is in alignment. I want to kind of draw it out. Let's see if we can see it here. So let's say here's your mind. It's sending out two different signals. One is, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Let's say one is unconscious, one is conscious, and then there's your heart. If your heart has been put in a box or a block and there's like, a big lock on it, it is not going to align with your mind. But let's say we have already done the healing work, and since this is paper, so I cannot erase it. I forgot to go to the board underneath. Anyways, let's say we have healed the heart. It has its own glow. It's ready. The heart is going to create a magnetic field. And when both of your unconscious mind and conscious mind have the same signal sending out, they're going to create a magnetic field. When your heart and your mind is aligned, my friend, that is the dimension of miracles. That is where things will happen so fast in your life. That is what we call quantum leap in self-development. In area of vocabulary, but that is also the dimension of miracles where it's unlogical, it's illogical. To your logical mind, it won't make sense. So the things I will be talking about, it might not make sense to your logical mind, but when we get to the um, unlogical aspects or dimension of things, that is when we are playing with the reality. That is when we can mold it. That is when reality becomes liquid because now we are out of that rigid mindset. So that is something I'll be showing you today. Um, Generally, what blocks the heart is the function of the lower mind. Because if lower mind is activated and it's creating its own chaos with it, which is fear, judgment, guilt, shame, when it's working at that, the higher brain doesn't even get activated. And in order for us to consciously send a signal out to the universe, to have that antenna working, we need this conscious mind. Maybe like you're present with yourself, you're affirming every day, I have this, I have this, I have this. So you're activating the conscious mind. But if the heart is blocked and locked, you're sending out again one signal and not the double the uh I would say double the intensity of that signal. That is what collapses time. That is where whatever you were supposed to receive in 2 years, you receive in 1 month. Um, Now, one more thing. This class I'm teaching from embodiment. These are the principles I have tried, tested pretty much in every single area of my life. But in terms of relationship is the hardest area. So this is exactly what I did, what my mentor showed me to do to meet my husband. And it is a story that is still not fully out there. One day, maybe in 2025, I will be sharing more details about it because I know it can help so many people. I do have a recorded testimonial somewhere with my mentor. If I can find it, maybe I can just share that. So, first, we are going to learn what blocks the heart, and then we are going to learn what opens the heart and how you can create something so magical in your life with so much ease. You're that powerful. You've been created that powerful. So, first, let's look at what blocks the heart. Guilt. Guilt is the first one. And keep in mind that, these are the functions of the lower mind. Guilt says, I did something wrong. So, before we even get any further, put something in front of you that you want to create. You're like, okay, Alia, with this conversation, I want to manifest that. I will take an example because it would be much easier to work with an example. Let's take the easier example, which is our body, right? If you want to lose 10, 20 pounds, where is guilt in that goal? Maybe the food that you eat, stop calling when you binge eat or when you are having some sugar, stop calling it guilty pleasure. Like that word is not even supposed to be part of our vocabulary when we are changing. We are saying that it's guilty to have pleasure, which is not the message we want to give to our mind. So guilt says, I did something wrong. How we shift the guilt, I'll show it to you in a little bit later, but I think I can go as we move along. The way I transform the guilt is by accepting there's nothing I can ever do that is wrong. Even if I just ate a whole cake by myself and I know I'm going to feel horrible later on, still can I observe myself without making myself feel guilty, without like, standing on top of my head and be like, there's something wrong with you. Why did you do it? That is what we do with ourselves. That is the conversation that's talking to us. That is the voice that's talking to us, my friend. We can live without that voice. You might think like, Alia, that's not possible. No, you can live without that voice. You can do something which you think is not right and not hold guilt. Guilt is like a hot coal on your hand, just drop it. I understand it's very hard to grasp that concept. How can I just drop the guilt? It's in every single cell of my body. When my mentor shared it with me, I was like, how can I do that? Practice. When you go for that extra cookie and you ate the cookie and now guilt is talking to you, can you just not listen? Just like we do with our toddlers. They go on and on and on and on, and we have to focus on other things. At some point, we can just tune them out. Can you just tune out the guilt and not embrace it? The next one is shame. Shame is there's something wrong with you. So it will say, well, since you keep eating, since you keep gaining weight, that means there's something wrong with you right there. Can you connect with the divine worth that is within you, the divine perfection that is within you, the way you've been created? The most magnificent and powerful craftsman of the universe, our creator, our source, created you. Can you stop saying there's something wrong with you? Can you accept that a power really, really high, higher beyond our imagination, created you, so you must be perfect the way you are? Where we get in trouble, we compare ourselves with other people. We're like, well, that person is thinner, I'm not. So there must be something wrong with me that I'm not. Start living in the world in a way that no one else exists but you. So no comparison. No comparison with anybody. Yes, that is something you can train yourself to do. Every time you go to comparison, just drop it. Every single morning when I am late, which is most of the time, me and my son are late to school. My neighbor is already coming back, and that is when we are leaving the house for school drop off. There's this voice that says, "You're a failure as a mom." I just don't listen to it. It's there every single day. I don't listen to it. I don't let it come into my energy field. That is that is shame and guilt all combined together. We can't stop listening to these voices in our head because these are the voices that are coming from your lower brain. It's coming from the unhealed trauma. The more I have worked on myself, the less these voices are, surrounding my mind. Even this voice, if I want to get rid of it, one of the days I can just sit down and I can just do a session with myself and I can release it. Judgment. When we judge ourselves and judge others, it is a big, massive block. If you want to manifest something, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's health, whether it's a vacation, stop judging other people for it. And you might say, no, Ali, I don't judge other people. Go into your mind, look at your unconscious thought, look at what goes on in your mind when you're scrolling social media. What goes on in your mind? Get very honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Most of us, we lie to ourselves and we think, like I used to think that I always tell truth, but then I got a little deeper and I realized I lie to myself all day long and I believe in those lies. So the more honest we start getting with ourselves, we realize we are judging other people. Sometimes there is jealousy. That judgment changes into jealousy. What jealousy is, you have something that I would like to have too. So we start judging other people. Let's go to social media now. Let's say somebody lost like, 20 pounds. The first thing will come to your mind, Mel, this person might have gotten a surgery or used pills or this and that. If that is the energy we are holding, we won't be able to release those 20 pounds either. Because what judgment is doing, it's delaying the process. It's closing your heart. That can, 10 time, 100 time the speed of your results. The next one is a little bit about judgment. Judgment gives us control. So when I'm judging somebody, myself, or another person, it feels like I'm in control. I can do something. Because when we are not able to create the change at the speed that we want to create, we feel out of control. Just like, if your body gets sick all of a sudden, the reason we feel so unsafe and so scared because we feel out of control. That my body's not on my side anymore. The next one is anger. Whenever we are angry towards something, whenever we are angry, like why my body's not budging, why there's not even 1 pound has budged, anger comes from fear. Fear closes your heart. It's the function of your lower brain. As soon as your lower brain is activated, your heart is closed. Your heart is not open in that moment. And heart is not something you're going to open it. It will stay open, my friend. It closes, open. And then it might open in an aspect of your life and closed in the other aspect of your life. So heart has a world of its own. Don't think it's a chakra you're going to work on, you're going to heal, you're going to balance, and then your life is supposed to be sparkly for rest of your stay on planet Earth. That's not how the energy body works. Energy body is changing all day long. The energy body changes according to the movement of the stars, according to the consciousness of the planet. So this is something much fluid that we are working with. You're supposed to learn the techniques and the consciousness and then keep working on it every single day. I can feel when my heart is closed. And sometimes I let it stay closed because I just don't want to do the work to open it. I want to do it maybe tomorrow. And sometimes I'm like, in this situation, it's not worth my time that I do the inner work to open my heart. I'm just gonna let it close. And then after a few hours, when I realize the impact of a closed heart, then I do the work. I am sharing that so you can understand a little bit more about heart and not think like, it's a door, because I have heard that narrative from people. I opened my heart that many years ago, and my life has changed ever since, but their heart is closed in that moment. So this is a place, the more you go there, the more you'll get in tune with your own energy and you'll be able to tell. But I can tell you from my own practice and the study that I do and the field that I am learning all the time, heart is very fluid. If right now you're angry about something and that is something you want to come in your life, my friend, it's not coming. It's not coming. No matter how much you work on it, how much you pray for it, how much this and that, it's not coming. Now, when we want to proactively move in a dimension of opening our heart and being open to receive something, I have put down 4 things that we'll talk about. There's definitely more will come up. Um, And there are many more that we can work through. But the first one is allow yourself to feel. Now, for those people who call themselves type A personality, for those people who call themselves they are high achiever, for those people who call themselves they are perfectionist, They just want end result. They don't care how you're going to get there, which is like, 99.99% of adults. When we are so busy, our heart is closed and we don't allow ourselves to feel. Generally, modern day life does not have room for you to feel. But if you want to open your heart is you must feel things because that is when your heart is opening. So let's say you're feeling so frustrated that why you have not been able to shed these 20 pounds or 10 pounds, or you're feeling so frustrated why you've been on dating apps for 10 years and still nothing, or you're feeling so frustrated why every business you start fails. Let yourself feel it without going into guilt, shame, judgment, or fear. Now that is where the real work comes because generally what happens when we allow ourselves feel, we are going down on a slide. Can I just touch the water and not drown in the water? That is the feeling. So the easiest way is sit with yourself, invite the feeling wherever it is in your body, and make it bigger, bigger, bigger. Let it expand. Allow yourself to feel it. Oh, this is what I'm feeling. Focus on the situation a little bit more. Right away, a voice will come that will start bashing you down. Don't let it. Just stay focused on the energy of it and not the words that are coming with it. Just stay focused on the energy of it without turning against yourself. Now, this is a process I lead my clients sometime when we are stuck in that place. And it's so tempting for them to turn on themselves. And when I'm able to hold that space for them to just allow themselves to feel, to without hating themselves, it magical things happen. So just allow yourself to feel. Another thing you can do, just in general, build a habit of feeling. Ask yourself throughout the day, how are you feeling? How am I feeling right now? What is going on within me? Just building that habit naturally keeps your heart open. The second thing you can do is focus on truth. Now, this is one of the most misunderstood concepts. Focus on truth or speak your truth or realize the truth. We think our own personal opinion is our truth, and we need to share that and we need to believe that. The truth that we are talking about and the truth that these sayings talk about, learn the truth and truth will set you free. They are talking about the truth, who you are as the soul, who you are outside of this body. That is the truth they are talking about. And I'm also talking about the truth. Focus on who you are in your true essence outside of this body, not within this body. As soon as you come into the body, there's body consciousness, there's ego consciousness, there's mind. Those are the instruments that have been given to you that are part of your body faculties to navigate physical experience. Who you are beyond that. The more you focus on who I am beyond that, focusing on the truth. So there are a few truths I can share with you right here that gives me an idea to teach something just about the soul and the truth of who we are in our essence. Um, when you're thinking about your weight, that is the example we are working with. We get so attached to our physical body, what size it is, what shape it is. When you become aware of the truth, the soul has no shape or form. It's not contained in a body. Yeah, temporarily it's in a body. How temporary this body is. If you just focus on that truth, how temporary your body is, you're not going to be so frustrated for those extra pounds. You'll start to appreciate it. You'll start to love it. You'll start to feel so good that at least you have a body. Being in a body is a privilege for the soul. It's not a punishment. you know, unlike some religion teach that, maybe we did something wrong. Now we are on the earth suffering, and this is a place to suffer, and then we're going to go back. My friend, it's a privilege to be here, to be able to bring those divine gifts to this plane, the light that is within us, and do the inner work, deeper work, and pull out those divine gifts and share it with the rest of the humanity and uplift the humanity. What a privilege. That is the purpose of our life, which we completely forget, and then we get stuck in um, wherever we all human get stuck in. So, coming back to what is the truth about whatever situation you're stuck in right now. One of the situation I was stuck in, not finding a person who would be in alignment with the way I think and the work that I do. The truth I kept focusing on, if I exist, he exists. If I exist, he exists. Because there is this law of polarity in the universe. There are seven laws that this universe is created based on. One of them is law of polarity. If one end of the stick exists, the other end must exist. If a positive exists, negative must exist. If a lack exists, abundance must exist. If I exist, my companion must exist. And he must reflect every desire that I have. If I have the desire, then the fulfillment of that desire already exists. So I stuck to the truth of law of polarity. What is the truth that you need to focus on your specific situation? And if you cannot, grasp your mind around it, you can put it under the comments. And, I do check time to time the comments, but for this one, I will definitely go back and check the comments. And you can write your situation, and I can help you discover, like, what is the truth that you need to focus on in that very specific situation. So the truth in terms of your body would be, this body is very temporary. So don't get attached to so much to, like, it needs to look this way or that. And you'll be surprised when you let go in that way and your heart opens, automatically you shed those extra pounds. Last year, my body released about 19 pounds without much effort over the course of about 3 months. I was not working out. I was just trying to eat in a better way, but I was really, really happy. My happiness level was just going on a different level because I was doing the deeper work of the heart at that time. The next one, the third one, there's four things I'm talking about how to keep your heart open when you're working towards a specific goal. The third one is stepping into the unknown. So when we have a goal in front of us, we're like, that is what I want by this time. I want it and it must happen. And then it doesn't happen. And then you're like, why it didn't happen? My other goal happened. Why this one is not happening? My friend, that is when you have a blockage in your heart. Your heart is not open to that goal. That belief is not there. Maybe somewhere deep down, you're feeling guilt, shame, judgment, or anger towards that thing or that goal. How do we get to the other side? We get to the other side by practicing something called, completely forgot the terminology for it. It will come back to me, where we can hold paradoxical thinking. Yeah, paradoxical thinking, where two sides can exist at the same time. When you say, I will achieve this goal, or I have the ability to achieve this goal, but at the same time, you say, I have no idea when it will happen. So let's say I'll say I'm going to be certain weight by end of January, but I have no idea when it will happen. At the same time, I'm open to go into the unknown, where I say I want to be a better version of me in 2025, and at the same time, I have no idea who I'm becoming. That is where I like to stay most of the time. I have no idea how today would be, but I know it's going to be the best day ever, where you're putting out the intention, but at the same time, you're stepping into the unknown, and they both are paradoxical. They are both opposite end of the stick. You know it and you don't know it at the same time. The reason it's so hard for us to step into that unknown when our safety exists in our achievements, when our safety exists in people around us, when our safety exists in our possessions or our results, we feel very, very uncomfortable stepping into the unknown. It feels like a free fall. I understand that. When you become comfortable in that free fall, when you find the stillness in that free fall, your heart is wide open. You're not concerned what's happening tomorrow, who you are becoming tomorrow, whether you'll lose this weight or not, whether the next dress will fit you or not, whether you'll have the partner or not, whether you're becoming a millionaire or not. When you just let go of that and you're ready to face that unknown, because the truth is, you have no idea who you're becoming tomorrow. Even if you want to achieve a goal, you have no idea how you'll get there. You might want to go there in a straight line and you'll end up going there in a zigzag. So the more you become okay with, I have no idea, but at the same time, I know it's going to be the best outcome. Again, that is one of the laws of the universe. Life is for more life. Whatever is going to happen tomorrow is going to be more, because look at it this way. Have you ever had a Fruit Loop? So kids in the US, they would know what that is. I don't know in other parts of the world, but it's a fruit roll that has been rolled up. So think of like, a piece of paper that has been rolled out and then you're opening it. You're opening it. With every movement, it's getting longer, 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 longer. It's getting more, 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 more. Sometimes we tear it and we eat a little bit and then we tear it and then we eat the next bite. That is how life is. Your every day is for more life. Your life becomes more every day. How come? The soul that you are, every next day that comes, it expands to that level. Like today, your soul has been in the body for 2 years, and tomorrow it has, like, then it's 3 years, and then it's 3 years and a day, 3 years and 2 days. More of the soul is also descending into your body. Every 7 years, we do get a soul upgrade. Happen 17, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. Usually, my clients come to me when they're between 34 to 42 because that is when the soul, a much higher level of soul descends into our body around 42. And if we don't really create the changes that our soul wants to create in our life, that is what people call midlife crisis. They go into a lot of anxiety and depression. And what is happening? Their soul is asking them to expand and become more. And they're like, no, I'm just going to live this little life. And that inner struggle creates a lot of chaos within us. So every day you're becoming more. When you're stepping into that unknown is going to be more than what was yesterday. That is the truth. And if you just remember that truth, you can go through any unknown. The person you're committing to, you are going to become a better version by stepping into that relationship. Whether the relationship end up being positive or negative, in both situations, you're going to become a better version of yourself. We can learn from the whatever the negative outcome is, whatever the positive outcome is. No matter what you do, you're always moving towards more life. So allow yourself to step into the unknown, and that keeps your heart open and the mind aligned, and you'll be able to create miracles in your life. The last one is trust and certainty. And the way I have learned it, it's certainty beyond logic. That deep knowing, I know I can have whatever I want. Now, where did that come from? Came from the truth. The soul can only have the desire what already exists for it. So if you're sitting here thinking you're going to have a beautiful mansion that is theme of a unicorn, it already exists for you. Can you trust that? Can you be certain of that before you even have it? That is what keeps your heart open. And I would tell you that these are the things that I personally practiced exactly in the same order. Didn't entertain guilt, allowed myself to feel the joy, the pain, whatever that came with it, stepped completely into the unknown, and just knew that it will happen. And I was able to create that within, I would say, from the moment I started, about 4 or 5 months. So 4 or 5 months is a wonderful, window of time coming from a very difficult past to be able to heal that and jump into that. So it was 3, 4 months of keeping the heart open. Because when the guilt shows up, what heart wants to do? It wants to close. When the shame shows up, it wants to close. Our mind wants to judge other people and letting go of that judgment, letting go of the judgment against ourselves, not being angry, not being afraid. Anger root is fear. Letting go of those fear and stepping into the unknown, trusting, trusting, and trusting. And when we do that consecutively and not take any breaks in between, a lot of time what happens, you know what, I tried this diet, didn't work for me, I'll try something next year. You're taking a break. When you don't take the break and you keep hammering at it, you can take down any wall that exists within you or around your heart. And that is how, my friend, you can use the power of your heart to create miracles in your life by keeping it open. One of the way that those of you who are sensitive to energy can maybe gauge that. If you feel heavy in your chest, like I'm having a hard time breathing, there's some heaviness in my chest. That is one of the sign your heart is closed. It wants to process some energy, it doesn't know how to process it. You can always reach out to me. I can assist you in processing whatever is making your heart heavy and holding you down, but also keeping you away from the abundance that exists for your soul. The most beautiful thing about when we work on opening our heart and we stepping into that level of abundance that is beyond our logic, we get to have what already belongs to our soul. When we use our logical mind, we stay very safe. We get into a relationship that feels very safe. We get into a career that feels very safe. We get a house that feels a safe investment. But when you open your heart and you start going into the unknown, you get to experience a level of joy and peace and love that you that's beyond your imagination. And that is something I get to enjoy. And that's why I'm so passionate to share that wisdom and share these tools with all of you, because what I would want the most is for you to enjoy the same ease of life and the love and the joy and the peace of this life. If this is something that pulls at you, please reach out to me. You can DM me. You can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation. And with that, we are ending our second last love circle. Next week, when we meet, that would be our last love circle. And from January 2025, I'll be rolling out a masterclass once a month, but those masterclass I'll be going so much deeper. I have already planned out the whole year, so I am so excited to share that. They'll come to you the same way. You'll have the opportunity to register for it. You'll have the opportunity to come live on the Zoom with me. You'll have the opportunity to ask me any questions. Please do so. And I am so excited to continue sharing the wisdom of the heart with you, how to keep it open and how to create a miraculous life. Sending you all so much love, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.